Thank you. Sir, how are you employed?
As a part-time employee with the Oakland County Sheriff's Office.
Okay, and how long have you been part-time?
2 days.
All right. And prior to that part-time employment, did you work full-time with the Oakland County Sheriff's Office?
I did.
Okay, and how long did you spend as a full-time employee?
34 years.
And at some point, did you retire from full-time employment?
I did.
When was that?
Last May.
Okay, so you didn't stay retired for long.
No.
All right. In your 34 years working with the Sheriff's Office, could you tell us, please, what sort of assignments you had?
My last assignment that I had prior to retiring was the sergeant of the fugitive apprehension team. Prior to that, I worked about 10.5 years in our special investigations unit. Prior to that, I worked in our auto theft unit. All those were as sergeants.
Okay.
Prior to getting promoted to sergeant, I worked in our auto theft unit as a deputy and at one of the substations as a substation detective for a few years.
Okay, the Special Investigative Unit, that's what Detective Lieutenant Tim Willis heads up right now, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. I want to talk to you specifically about your time with the Fugitive Apprehension Team. First of all, tell us what exactly that is.
It's a team consists of a sergeant and 7 detectives who are responsible for locating people with felony warrants or who are wanted for serious crimes that they have been alleged to have committed. Those requests that come in are either from our substations at the Sheriff's Office or other agencies throughout the county that request our assistance.
Okay, and forgive me if I've asked this, but how long did you spend with the Fugitive Apprehension Team?
About 6.5 years.
Okay, and that was as the sergeant?
Yes, sir.
So you would be the individual leading the team?
That's correct.
All right. And how many members of the Fugitive Apprehension Team were there?
I had 7 plus myself.
Okay. Is that the role that you had in November and December of 2021?
It is.
Is it fair to say that all of the individuals on the Fugitive Apprehension Team work as a group?
Yes.
Now, I want to direct your attention to the days after the Oxford High School shooting of November the 30th, 2021. First of all, do you remember that day?
I do.
Okay. Were you working that day and that week?
Not that specific day. I was out of town, but the rest of the week, yes.
Okay. At some point, were you requested to locate James and Jennifer Crumbley?
We were.
And tell us how that happened, please.
I believe it was December 2nd. Lieutenant Willis asked me to attempt to locate both of them.
Okay. And if I told you they were formally charged on Friday, December 3rd, does that sound right?
Yes.
Okay, so Detective Willis sitting at the table here asked you to locate them?
Yes.
What information did you have at your disposal when you were given this assignment?
They're basic information. They're pictures, full names, height, weight, addresses, vehicles they drove, things of that nature.
Were you made aware that their phones were seized on the evening of November the 30th?
Yes.
Okay, so tell us, please, what did you and your team do to attempt to locate the defendant?
We began looking at and conducting surveillance at their residence. Any family members that we knew of, friends, things of that nature. Checked area hotels, places that we might think they might go.
Okay. Did you locate them? You were given this assignment on December the 2nd, you said?
Yes.
Did you locate them that day?
We did not.
Were you able to identify where they had stayed from November the 30th until that point in time?
We had identified a hotel they had stayed at. I don't specifically remember the name of the hotel, but
okay.
Any hotel.
That's fine. When you received that information, what did you do?
We checked with the hotel staff to find out whether there were still guests there, whether they had checked out, and in fact they had checked out.
Okay. So after you learned that they had checked out from that hotel, what happened next?
We continued to check area hotels, surveillance of any known locations, and eventually we located a vehicle that belonged to them at a hotel in Auburn Hills.
Okay. And when you identified this vehicle belonging to either James or Jennifer Crumbley, what happened next?
I pulled all of the team to that location and we began constant surveillance on that vehicle to check and see if they would come back for it.
Was that on Thursday, December the 2nd, or Friday, December the 3rd?
That was on Friday, December the 3rd.
Okay. And did either the defendant or his wife come back to the vehicle?
They did not.
Right. And tell us, please, what's happening at that point in time?
At that point, we're still trying to locate them. We're still, again, checking anything, social media, anything we can find to try to locate them.
Okay. And were you able to at that point?
No, we did not.
All right. Tell us what happened next.
At some point late in the evening, and I don't remember the exact time, we were made aware that their other vehicle had been located in a parking lot by the Detroit Police Department.
Okay, so this is late in the evening on Friday, December the 3rd?
Correct.
Okay. Did you come to learn that they were formally charged at noon on December the 3rd?
Yes.
Okay, so earlier that same day?
Correct.
All right. When you learned that they were charged, what did you do personally?
Myself and one of the other detectives went to what we learned was their attorney's office and checked the office parking lot or surrounding parking lots to see if their vehicle might be there. By chance, they would be in the office with the attorney. Upon not finding the vehicle, we went in and made contact with one of their attorneys.
Okay. And without telling us what was said in that conversation, did you find either James or Jennifer Crumbley there?
Did not.
Okay. And at that point in time, they had the same attorney, is that correct?
It's my understanding, yes.
Okay. And so would that have been before noon on December the 3rd or after noon, December the 3rd?
It was afternoon.
Okay, so after they were charged?
Yes.
All right. And backing us up a little bit in the timeline, it was after that the vehicle belonging to one of the defendants was recovered?
Yes, several hours later.
Several hours later. Okay, thank you. Later that evening, Friday, December 3rd, what did you learn?
That the vehicle was located in the parking lot in the business in Detroit.
Okay. So another vehicle belonging to either James or Jennifer Crumbley was located in Detroit?
Right.
All right. Tell us what happened next.
At that point, I left one person sitting on the vehicle in Auburn Hills, just by chance they came back to it, and the rest of the team and myself went to Detroit to attempt to locate them somewhere in the area of the vehicle.
Okay. The law enforcement personnel involved in this endeavor, was it contained to just the 7 of you?
No, sir.
Okay. Tell us what you encountered when you went to the location where the vehicle was found.
Originally, when we got there, there were several Detroit police officers that had the street blocked and had the car secured in the parking lot. As we searched the area, because we had no idea whether they had walked away from the car, they were in the building, we didn't know at that point. So we were searching the area. More and more law enforcement officers arrived. Officers from the U.S. Marshals arrived to assist us, the Border Patrol, the Michigan State Police, more Detroit Police, all arrived on scene.
Okay. After the exterior of the location was searched, and I take it no one was found then?
Correct.
Okay. What happened next?
We formulated a plan to begin searching the building. It was a 3-story industrial building. We had several officers on site, so at that point we decided to begin going room to room and search the entire building.
Okay. I'm going to show you what's been admitted as People's Exhibit 307. This is a photograph, sir. Do you recognize what's in this photograph?
I do.
And tell us how.
That is the industrial building where the vehicle was located in the parking lot.
Okay. So the parking lot would be behind this chain link fence to the
Yes.
right of the photograph?
Correct.
Okay. And did you and your team participate in the physical search of the interior of this building?
We did.
Okay. And now, contained to the interior of the building, again, was it just the 7 of you or other law enforcement personnel involved as well?
Oh, several law enforcement officers.
All right, tell us about that, please.
The plan was formulated that the Detroit Police Department would search the first floor of the building. The rest of the teams that were there, we took on the task of searching the second and third floor of the building.
Okay. Now, was this done in secret or was this out in the public as far as the knowledge?
Oh, no, it was very obvious, very apparent. There was dozens and dozens of officers. We went room to room. At some point, we had obtained keys to some of the rooms. When we had those keys, we were able to unlock the door, announce our presence, go in and search every place in the room that could potentially hide a human being. Other rooms, we did not have keys for, and we were forced to force our way into those rooms.
When you say force our way into the rooms, can you describe what that looks like?
Yeah, there are several tools that are used to what's called breach or force a door open. There's a long Halligan type pole like a fireman would use. You jam it into the door frame and pry the door back and get the lock to sometimes pop. If that doesn't work, we have a 35-pound battering ram, and we will batter the door lock mechanism until the door opens.
Okay. Is that a quiet endeavor, or is that loud?
Oh, it's very noisy.
So, specific to the 3 floors in what's the building depicted here in 307, which areas did you and your team search?
The second and third floor of the building.
And was anybody located in those searches?
Not on the second or third floor.
Okay. At some point, were you made aware that were you involved in the actual breaching of that room in the arrest?
No, that was handled by the Detroit SWAT team, I believe, handled that door.
Okay. And they had already been assigned to the first floor?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And tell us what happened after that occurred.
As soon as the SWAT team entered that room and searched it and discovered the Crumbleys in that room, they were taken into custody by Detroit, and then they were turned over to my team, who took custody of them and transported them back up here to Oakland County.
Okay. Do you recall the approximate time that occurred?
Probably 1:30, 1:15, somewhere. It was after 1 o'clock in the morning.
In the morning. So we're talking Saturday, December the 4th.
Yes, sir.
And is James Crumbley in court today?
He is.
Can you please point to and describe something he's wearing today?
Gray suit and headphones.
Your Honor, would record reflect the identification of the defendant?
The record will so reflect.
Thank you. Nothing further.